In this episode of Derp Star, I'll be fixing the laser sharks in the Oceanus dimension. First, I need to fix the UV mesh mapping. As you can see, the jaw is still connected to the jawbone, but the body is all pinned to the top left corner. So in the polygon 2D, under UV, it still has all of the points. So in the body, I will just select the rest of the points that aren't connected to the lower jaw. So now the image is remapped to the skeleton. Then in the base shark script, since you can't have the variable signals or functions have the same name since Godot 4, I'll set the function to set aggro on and off instead, and change the function calls. So now I'll load the Oceanus dimension in the main script and run it. Now it'll throw an error because of the laser sharks, so I'll go ahead and disable those in the biome script and run it again. So now the sharks and mines are spawning, but as you can see, the sharks are swimming away from the player instead of towards it. And that's because the angle to point function has been reversed, so I'll call from the shark's position angle to point on the derp star's position. And now when the player gets close, the sharks should turn towards you and try to bite. So now instead of setting the global rotation directly, I'll set the angular velocity. So I'll get the angle to the derp star global position, then set the angular velocity equal to angle 2 times 5. So this makes it turn faster when it's facing away from the player and slow down as it turns towards you, so it doesn't overshoot the turn. And since I'm setting the angular and linear velocities, I want to call this in integrate forces instead of the physics process, and set the state dot angular velocity and linear velocity so that it will combine with the existing forces. So now they turn towards the player and deal damage when they attack. So now I'll open up the laser shark scene, and in the laser mount, when I converted to Godot 4, it converted this line, and I'm not sure exactly what it needs to be changed to. Basically, it gets the global coordinates of the beam and makes it local to the laser mount. So I'll just comment that out for now, and in the default biome, I'll make it only spawn the laser sharks for the Oceanus dimension. And it's throwing an error at the raycast. So I'll go ahead and comment that out too, because I'll add a raycast 2D node to the laser beam instead. So now you can see the laser beams are spawning, but they're not connected to the laser mount because the coordinates are local instead of global. So I'm sure there is a new way to convert the coordinates from global to local, but it will be easier for me to open up the base laser beam and add a blank node to reset the transforms. So that's the rotation and position and scale. And in the script, I'll want to point to the line 2D position path in the tree. So I'll change all of the references. And before I save this, I'll copy the properties from the line 2D on the laser mount. So now when I save the base laser, it reset the properties on the line 2D. So I'll paste the properties and it will be restored. I don't want to move this to match up because it will get the coordinates automatically. So I want the offset to be 0. And now you can see the lasers are lining up with the mounts again. But they don't deal damage to the player and they are not reflected off of the player shield. So I'll fix that next. So I'll open up the beam area and add a raycast 2D node. It's pointing down by default, so you can see the target position changes and I want it to point forward. So I'll set the Y to 0 and the X to 50. Then I want to set the collision mask to energy shields, so it only collides with the player shield. Then in the script, in the set maximum length function, I'll set the raycast 2D target position dot x equal to max length as well. Then in the cast beam function, I'll uncomment the raycasting. Instead of getting the intersect ray result, I'll say if the raycast 2D is colliding, then I'll get the collision point equal raycast 2D dot get collision point. And replace the result dot position with the collision point. This will make a new beam if it doesn't have one and it collides with a shield. So instead of getting the incoming direction, I'll set the beam area global rotation equal to the raycast 2D get collision normal dot angle, which converts it from a vector to a float. Then instead of result dot collider, I'll use raycast 2D dot get collider to set the faction. So now when the player activates the shields, you can see that the laser beams bounce off as they did before, and the beams are now dealing damage again. So now I'll enable visible collision shapes under debug and set the beam area collision shape debug color to orange so it contrasts against the water and it's easier to see. Then in the laser mount, I'll hide the line 2D . So now you can see that the collision shape is only half the length of the laser beam because they changed the extents of the collision shapes. So in the script, I don't need to divide the height and length by 2 in set height and set length. The extents are the full length and height, and the position.x is still length over 2, so it's centered. So now the beam area is the same size as the line 2D, and I'll go ahead and make that visible again. Then I re-enabled the naval mine in the Oceanus default biome bumper list and set the explosion collision shape debug color so you can see it on the water. So now the last thing I want to fix is to make the naval mine explosion the size of the explosion area so it matches up. So in the explosion particle emitter, if I enable emitting, it only plays once because I have one shot enabled. So I'll disable that for now and enable emitting. Then in the process material, I'll increase the emission shape from a point to a sphere and set the sphere radius. So it emits in a much larger area. Then I'll increase the scale max to 3. So we have some variation in the sizes, and it pretty well fills in the entire area. Now I want to reset the color ramp. It's using a gradient texture which has been depreciated, so it needs to be a gradient texture instead. And I'll make the front white, then yellow and orange, and red, then dark gray. And I can move these color points. Then I'll make a new curve texture and make it get smaller over time. And I'll change the curve to go up. I also need to disable the z-axis in the particle flags so that it works, and reduce the alpha color a bit so it's semi-transparent. And now I'll re-enable one shot. So now the naval mine explosion particles match the damage radius, so you can tell where it is. And next time I'll be working on the space worm boss in the Derp space dimension. So other than that, I've been playing some Satisfactory, which is pretty fun. I got to plastic and rubber production, and I'm trying to get to trains so I can reformat my entire factory layout. But that's all for now. Thank you for watching and have a great day.